For the first 6 years of my life, I barely spoke, and when I did, my words were difficult to understand. Doctors and my parents believed it was connected to the lack of oxygen to the brain when I was born. One day I was sitting at the top of the stairs, sucking on a popsicle, while my mom carried a bucket of laundry up the steps. She was talking to me, but I kept saying, "What?" I wasn't ignoring her. I was concentrating on the popsicle melting down my hand, trying not to waste a single drop of the sweet juice. She continued talking as she walked past me. Finally, I said, "Turn around so I can see your mouth." She stopped. Then she dropped the laundry basket and called the doctor. After a series of tests, they discovered that my brain was perfectly fine, but I was completely deaf in the high-pitched sounds. On my 7th birthday, I received my hearing aid. Trust me, at that age, I would have preferred a pony. I remember an older gentleman coming to our house with a hearing aid, and he showed me how to put it in, take it out, adjust the volume, and turning it off and on. I didn't really understand what it was for and why this man was explaining these things to me. And then he left, the hearing aid still in my ears. The very first sound I ever heard in my 6 years was the telephone. It rang so loudly that it terrified me. My parents said they practically had to peel me off the ceiling. After that moment, I fought those things with everything I had. My parents explained that I was deaf, a word they used at the time, and that the hearing aids were going to change everything for me. But even at that age, I knew something else. I knew they made me different. I told my mom that the hearing aids singled me out. She tried to comfort me, saying it was the same as wearing glasses. I remember answering, "More people wear glasses than hearing aids." From that moment on, I did everything I could to hide the fact that I was different. What I didn't realize until years later was that it wasn't the hearing aids that revealed it. It was my speech. For most of my life, I thought my hearing loss was simply a physical condition. Then something unexpected happened. In September of 2021, I was speaking with a man. As he was talking, the only words I heard clearly were, "You can't mother everyone." My entire body went on alert. I could see his lips moving, but I didn't hear anything else he said after those 4 words. I remember thinking, I don't want to mother anyone. I want connection, not mother them. Later, I learned that I had misunderstood him completely. He hadn't said that I was mothering people. He was saying that many women feel caught between roles where they are expected to comfort everyone. That realization stunned me. My body had reacted to something it thought it heard, and I had blocked out the rest. A few months later, I was speaking to the same man again. He was walking a group of us through an exercise when suddenly it happened again. I was supposed to repeat after him, but I went completely deaf to what he said. This time I noticed something different. I felt uncomfortable with the exercise he was guiding me through, and it was as if my mind simply shut down the sound. That was the moment I became aware of something deeper. This was the second time I had gone deaf. Was it him? Was it a trigger? Was it my body protecting me? I didn't know. But after that, I began to pay attention in conversations. Whenever someone said something that stirred discomfort in me, my body would react. And sometimes I wouldn't hear the rest of what they were saying. That realization led me to ask a question I'd never considered before. How much of my hearing loss was physical, and how much of it was protection, or even ego? Someone once asked me if I would be okay being unique, or if I could be okay being unique. My answer came quickly. Nope, I can't. For the first time, or for most of my life, being different felt like something to hide. But over time, I began to wonder something else. What if the very thing I spent years trying to conceal was actually shaping the way I experience the world? What if my life was asking me to listen differently? In a world addicted to external noise, what if my past, or what if my path required me to trust my internal signal more than the voices around me? Most people confirm reality through hearing. I heard it, so it must be true. But my life kept nudging me towards another way of knowing. Because when I couldn't hear everything that was said, I began paying attention to something else. The tone behind the words, the energy in the room, the feeling in my body. I started noticing that sometimes truth isn't found in what is spoken. Sometimes it vibrates underneath the words. Maybe my hearing loss wasn't only something to overcome. Maybe it was also something that quietly trained me to listen in a different way. Not just with my ears, but with my whole being. I'm still learning how to embrace that. And maybe that becoming, maybe that's what becoming ourselves really is. Learning to trust the signal inside us, even when the world around us is loud. Dear you, the things that make you different may be the very things that shape your greatest gifts. For years, I thought my hearing loss was something I had to overcome, something that made me less than everyone else. But life has a funny way of revealing that our deepest challenges often become our greatest teachers. Maybe the thing that you've spent years trying to hide isn't a flaw at all. Maybe it's teaching you how to experience life in a way no one else can. Trust what you know, trust what you feel, and trust the quiet voice inside you. It knows more than you think. Sincerely, me.